NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox, built by the Home Depot, is sponsored by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager.
Jeff Gordon has now led 100 of 113 laps. There's his lead over Denny Hamlin. It stands at 1.4 seconds. Clint Boyer, Tony Stewart, Kurt Busch are the top 5. When we last saw Dale Earnhardt Jr., he was trying to recover from a long pit stop for adjustments. Those adjustments have paid off. He just passed Marcus Ambrose in the 47 to move up to 9th.
Well, they definitely have overcome that pit stop where they had all the problems, but that was the last pit stop they had. They've actually stayed out the last 2 cautions, getting that track position.
Matt?
Mike, when they had their team meeting on Wednesday for 3 hours, one piece that they really wanted to work on was better communications as far as being descriptive back and forth from the driver to the crew chief on what the car is doing and how to fix it. That's exactly what they've been doing this race. Junior, very descriptive of what his car is doing. He says it is getting better, but after about 10 laps, it starts to slide the nose. He was telling Tony Jr., breaking it down almost through the corner, exactly what that car is doing. Running in the top 10, running well, but they still need to work on this car, free it up a little more.
Well, that's something that he needs to learn from Jimmy Johnson particularly. He and Chad Canals, the way they break a corner down. Entrance, middle, right here, right there. I mean, about 5 or 6 points through a turn that Jimmy gives to Chad to help him make those adjustments.
Yeah, in practice, Jimmy actually fills a form out that shows the entire racetrack.
There you go, man. Keep it up there. You'll get both these guys.
Pulling up on Jeff Burton. This will be for 8th place. How about Burton, Krista?
Well, Mike, Jeff Burton also choosing track position over tires. He has only come in 1 time, and that is because his car is very good on the long runs. All he's really said is he still needs it to turn just a little bit better.
I just heard Tony Jr. call Dale Jr. Daddy-O. Now, that's old school right there.
Wow.
When's the last time somebody said Daddy-O?
About 1959.
Yeah. Now, if he starts calling him Cat Daddy here in a little while, we can know he's making some progress.
Now, Jeff Gordon has led 106 laps, almost all of this race. He's only not led 13 laps, and most of those were under caution. So how does he keep up with what everybody else is doing with exchanges like this?
Looking real good. We kind of just got to stick with our strategy. You know, those guys keep trying to get us upside down back there. Hopefully it'll run long enough here that it'll all even out.
Making any gains through there?
No. People that come pit, all they do is tear their stuff up, man. Nobody's moving up through there like making anything happen.
And basically what he's saying is those guys are coming in getting tires, but they're not going anywhere. So don't let those guys coming in getting tires affect our game plan.
The top 12 cars, they have not been to pit road since lap 43. Now, when I look back there, Martin in the 5 car, his teammate, he's one guy that did pit on that last caution that's making hay with those 4 fresh tires. And then the guy right in front of him, David Stremme in the 12, he was last on pit road on the 3rd caution at lap 71. So that's 2 cars that have made advantages out of coming to pit road.
Jimmy Johnson finding himself a long way back at 125 laps into this race. Steve?
And Mike, he restarted 25th after the most recent caution. They just have not been able to get the car to handle the way Jimmy Johnson wants it to. He's been saying the car is tight from the start of the race. Chad Canals just asking for patience.
Well, and I think the patience he's asking for is what Darrell pointed out a while ago. This racetrack is going to change. I'm already starting to see the corners turn much blacker with rubber than they were when this race started.
And one of the things that's kind of worrying me a little bit, people keep talking about Little Rock and going to Little Rock and testing. I think if you're going down there just to shake your car down, that might be all right. But don't go down there and get led down the wrong path thinking that's going to help you here at Martinsville. I just don't think they're comparing apples to apples.
And I think Jimmy Johnson actually told us that on Friday. He said, if you're going down there to A-B things, great. Don't go down there to fine-tune for Martinsville.
Mark Martin in the 5, trying to move up on David Stremme. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon is about to get into lap traffic, and that means that Matt Kenseth will no longer be the first car or only car 1 lap down.
I'm just watching that 24 car and the 11 and the 33. Those first 3 cars, their separation has remained the same. But I also believe that Jeff Gordon is kind of keeping an eye on that rear view mirror and keeping that little gap between he and the 11 car. don't think you'll know how good that 24 is until you have to know. Uh-oh, we got a car up into the wall.
It is Gilliland, David Gilliland, California driver.
Got a tire down.
He gets away, and we'll try to. He gets to the bottom, so he can come around to pit road for that right front.
Right front.
No caution.
Matt Kenseth was hoping he was not going to get to the bottom. He was hoping for a caution.
Jeff Gordon beginning to get into lap traffic. We're a quarter of the way in Martinsville. Denny Hamlin grabs the lead from Jeff Gordon, but the caution, I think, was already out for Robbie Gordon up in turn number 2.
David Reagan and Robbie Gordon had a coming together, 6 and 7.
And Jeff Gordon retains the lead. While we were away, another driver had a right front tire go down. That was Eric Almirola. More on that in a bit. David Gilliland has also gone laps down, and Gordon has now taken on 5th in the all-time list of lap leaders at Martinsville Speedway. He passes Fred Lorenzen and now stands behind Cale Yarborough, Rusty Wallace, Darrell Waltrip, and Richard Petty on the all-time list of lap leaders here.
Now, pit road is closed right now. They actually just opened it up. I'm sure all the leaders will be to pit road, including Jeff Gordon, Denny Hamlin, because they have not been there since lap 42, and here most of the leaders come.
And again, Matt Kenseth does not get the free pass. It goes to Scott Riggs, who was just lapped by the leader before the caution. Matt.
33 at Boyer. His guys on the wall waiting for him to come in. Slight chassis adjustment as he enters third. Still a little snug off. They're going to make an air pressure change on both left side tires. Krista.
Tony Stewart saying he had about 2/3 of a good run. They had planned on making an air pressure adjustment. They are doing that, and also 2 rounds out of the left rear for Stewart. Dick.
Jeff Gordon pits. He is up front. And there's the race for who's going to be leading it, and it looked like Gordon at the line.
It was close.
I think it's Hamlin, actually, by just about an inch.
One driver who got caught in the pits was the number 1 of Martin Truex. He had to back up to get around the car parked in front of him, which was Ryan Newman. Our scoring shows Jeff Gordon. And 2 fast entering the pits, Martin Truex and Kyle Busch. They will go to the tail end of the longest line for the restart. 2 drivers had unscheduled stops for right front tires going down, David Gilliland and Eric Almirola. Were those tires cut, or did they have a problem overheating the bead? Jeff Gordon, yeah, him too. Not Jeff Gordon. Jeff Hammond can tell us more in today's State Farm Safety Report.
At Martinsville, it's always about the brakes. You see how we cool them, trying to keep these 1100-degree rotors as cool as possible to keep from boiling the fluid, losing the brakes entirely. Well, there's another part that we've got to try to keep cool. We try to blow air up through these hoses to the bead of the tire. That's right, inside the rim where all the heat is coming up through and radiating, you cannot afford to have a failure with the bead. You have a flat tire that way, you may lose a race car, and I'm not blowing hot air when it comes to that.
Thanks, Jeff. Let's have a look at what put us under caution for the 5th time here today. David Reagan, the 6, Robbie Gordon, the 7. That's Gordon ahead, the yellow car, and Reagan on the right.
Oh, Robbie's tire went down. He just shot up into the 6 car. I was just trying to stop from laughing from Hammond's final remark there about hot air.